Everyone, this is Ivan with Create Your Future. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in personal development, relationships, and the law of attraction. And today I wanted to do a video about your belief system, okay? I wanted to share a success story along with some tips and also some examples of how I have created my belief system around a lot of the techniques that a lot of my clients have shared with me, okay? But before we jump into that, I want to remind you that we're currently running a contest. As soon as we hit 100,000 subscribers, 3 lucky winners will be randomly chosen, and they will have a free session with the coach of their choice. All you have to do is comment down below how the law of attraction has helped you, or the law of assumption as well, or even just like a comment of the successes that you've had, okay? And also remember to comment and like and share this video, okay? So let's get started with a success story. So a client reached out to me about a month ago, and her and her SP had a fight back in April, and we're in no communication. So they had not spoken for a couple of months, and she came across the law of assumption. So she started to intend for constant communication. But through this whole process of it all, she really did not believe what she was saying, and she really chose to remain in that like doubtful state. She would focus a lot on how or when it will happen, and it was just something that was constantly running in her mind alongside with her new intentions. So what would happen was that her intention itself would never really get to fully realize itself because she was putting a lot of doubt in her own process and her own belief system that she had over the law of assumption. So remember that the laws of the universe are always working in your favor. Even if even if like the laws of the universe is not something that you resonate with, your mind is mimicking you. You know, your mind is reflecting your emotions, your feelings, your belief systems, your patterns that you create, you know. So that's what she was doing with this whole new process of the law of assumption, which was something new to her mind. So she would say her intentions, she would switch up her intentions all the time, and she wouldn't stay consistent with the one idea that she wanted. So she felt like this didn't really work, and she really didn't. She even like at one point she told me that she kind of thought that the success stories I talk about weren't real. You know, and of course they're real. Like, you know, of course they happen day to day. But she would just assume the worst to actually feed onto her belief of this not working. So we started to work with her concept of believing. Okay. Now, this client was actually a firm believer in tarot card readers and psychics and the things that were outside of her, you know, that were pretty much telling her. So what we came about was that a couple of months ago, prior to the argument she had with her SP, she actually had gone to a psychic who told her that this relationship was a very doubtful relationship and that it wouldn't last. Well, guess what? A couple of months later, they called it off and they were no longer in a relationship, and it was due to trust issues. Now, the trust issues that this person was talking about, the psychic reader, was more of her reading off the energy from the client, you know. So remember that tarot cards and, you know, psychics, they're pretty much reading off your belief system, okay? So if you go in and you have a negative mindset, or you know, you're probably like in a low vibration, if you want to talk about vibration, or you know, you're just assuming the worst, you know, they're going to read off that and obviously going to tell you that whatever it is that you are questioning is not part of your desires, you know, because they're reading off your energy. And the same thing with like tarot card readings, you know, your energy is actually, you're attracting the cards that are mimicking the question in your mind at that moment. So if there's no certainty of what it is that you want at that moment, the tarot cards or the psychic reading could be a little bit off. But what's important, and this is something I told my client, was do not let anything or anyone guide your reality. You know, it is your reality. And if you do like to use tarot card readers or psychics, always look at them as guides to actually interpret your limiting belief and work around that belief system. Okay, so this client, we started to work with strengthening her belief by saying, I trust and have faith in my intentions. I trust and have faith in myself. I have faith that this will create. I have trust that this will create. I don't know when, I don't know how, I just trust. So she started to talk about this, and we also incorporated something that I've been telling a lot of clients lately who have this doubt, to say, I believe that my SP wants to communicate with me. I believe I am the best boyfriend or girlfriend. You could start using the term believe, because the mind, every fact that you've had proven in your life comes from a belief system. So you believe it so much that it hardens into a fact, and then it becomes a fact, and then it becomes part of your subconscious mind. So what you want to do is start believing the things that you want, and even in the beginning, if it doesn't feel so right, you continue to persist on the new intention, the new idea, and your mind will start to say, wait, we should actually conform to this idea because it's persistent. No longer is it persistent of the things that put you in lack. Rather, it's the things that put you in abundance that are dominating your mind at that point. So this client did exactly that. And within a couple of weeks, she was able to get communication and an apology from her SP for what had happened that, she had initially created without even her intending for an apology. She just wanted that communication. But because she knew that it was, her subconscious mind knew that it was something that she was unconsciously resenting, the experience, the apology came about. Okay, so this was a great way. She was able to get it. So the things that she did was she would intend for what she wanted, and we started with, I believe the communication will flow easily into my life. I believe my SP is always thinking about me. I believe our bond is strong and unbreakable. She started to work with this idea to where she started to feel more comfortable. And of course, there were times where she would doubt it, and she would book a session and say, like, I just don't feel them. But I would tell her to persist on the idea, and I would tell her to kind of work with the concept of her and trusting her belief system, because it starts with her. I always say it starts with you. It starts with you. So she says, okay, she started to say, okay, yes, I do trust myself, and I trust myself enough to believe that I know that I am a wonderful girlfriend who is deserving of this wonderful relationship, who is deserving of this incredible communication. So she worked on it, and, like I said, within a couple of weeks, she was able to get the communication flowing, and she actually feels better because she is staying consistent to the point where she already has the communication and she got the apology, and the relationship is back on. But she's still booking sessions because she actually wants to make sure that she stays consistent to the point where it just becomes a part of her. It becomes the new habit of her just allowing a good, healthy relationship. So even if you have been intending for communication and you've already gotten it, you would still want to continue with the idea for a while. I mean, not forever, but for a while, so that it becomes a dominant assumption for your reality, okay? So that way, there comes a point where it's just gonna be something that is a part of you, and it's just gonna happen, okay? So it's a new pattern that you've created, but you've created it because you've consistently put it, and especially if you're living it and then you're saying it, you have more of it imprinting into your subconscious mind, therefore creating that habit, okay? So that was a great success from this client who got something within a couple of weeks of going from not even believing or trusting what she was doing to actually keeping on and encouraging it to continue on this wonderful journey of hers, okay? So I want to talk a little bit about how belief systems are something that you create. Like anything, it's the concept of you. You have a concept around your belief system. It's what you are perceived as when it comes to beliefs. Okay, so for example, I'm always trying out new things because clients are always asking me about new techniques or things that they see here and there. And I actually brought an example. A couple of weeks ago, I had a client talk about new moon rituals. What did I think about new moon rituals? Now, it's not something that I personally practice, but you know, she was telling it to me and how she likes it and how she feels this empowerment and this energy, that I encourage her to continue on that, because it's giving her this sense of I can, I am, you know, this, you know, almost like a recharge. So what she was talking about me, it's like, you know, how can I believe this to be a part of me? So I actually got the moon water, and I have it right here. So I took like I got some water. I took it out at night, full moon, left it out there. Got it before. I believe she told me to get it out before the sunrise. I did that. So in my mind, initially, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. You know, it's just water. I'm just gonna do it. But then I started to think, okay, so how can I incorporate her belief system into mine? Okay, so what aspect of me could believe this? Well, I tend to be more of a logical person, and I'm learning about spirituality more and more. You know, it's something that has sparked a huge curiosity on me, because I have more of a, I tend to lean more into how the mind and the brain. But I also know that, you know, it is very connected to the spiritual side as well. So I started to see, how can this moon water be a part of me? Like, how can I create a strong belief system over this moon water and say, you know what, I'm going to drink this and it's going to give me a new energy? Well, I started thinking, if everything around us is energy, and I'm pretty sure like the sun gives you vitamin D when you walk out, right? And you're in it for a while. So I imagine that the sun, the moon with its beams, also has some sort of energy. And if water has memory, and if the moonlight hits the water, then there's probably like a good energy behind it, because when it's a full moon, it's a recharge moon, you know? So if I put that into my body, maybe there is a, you know, a change in whatever energy or whatever molecular, you know, if I'm going by like, you know, programming I have right now, that way it could be incorporated. Maybe there could be a shift. So that's how I created my belief system around this. So I didn't see it as something just passing or something empty. I created a meaning to it because I wanted to resonate with my clients. So that's one of the things that I personally do, that anytime a client asks me about something, I want to try it, because, you know, I want to get, you know, understand their perspective, so that I know in a future session, you know, I have a better understanding. But everything is like, you know, everything, we could put symbolism into absolutely everything. You know, I love candles, and I've said it in a lot of previous videos. I just like candles, you know, and there's something, you know, I've used candles for meditation. I use candles to, like, you know, create a mood. You know, we use these objects for so many things, but you could also put an intention into objects, you know, like if you say, you know, anytime I see the candle and I put an intention when I initially lit it up, you know, my mind unconsciously always reminds me of the intention without me consciously having to think about it. It just connects it, okay? And that's the thing with everything that you do. So the point of this video is for you to start creating your own belief system around everything that you want to experience. If you're curious about a certain technique, try it out and see how it is a part of you and how you could create a strong belief system behind that process, okay? So I hope this video helps. I do appreciate all the love and all the wonderful comments that I receive anytime a video posts. And remember, I am available for one-on-one sessions. Links are down below. So if you ever have any questions about your own belief system or limiting beliefs, and you want to get rid of those limiting beliefs and proceed to a wonderful, loving future, you could always book a session with me, okay? So I want to thank you all once again, and I intend for you to create a strong belief system for yourself and create a wonderful life for you. Thank you. Bye.